for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on KALH, weather always comes first. Extremely critical and dangerous fire weather conditions develop over south central Texas, including San Antonio and Austin, with strong winds and very dry conditions. Heavy snow and strong winds are going to impact the central high plains and upper Midwest through tomorrow, with periods of blizzard conditions likely. Closer to home, strong winds are going to remain in place today, but not quite as bad as yesterday. Another storm system will bring strong winds along with isolated rain and snow to the western and central high terrain. We'll have another look at the weather following this news.
This is roadblock information for Tuesday, 4 March. Roadblocks are subject to change without notice. There are no internal or external roadblocks for this day. Highway 70, Highway 54, Highway 380, Nike Avenue, Las Cruces Gate, and El Paso Gate will remain open.
Unconfirmed reports suggest more teachers may have quit Tularosa schools. If this is true, how much longer can this be permitted to go on? And if it's not true, well, a lot have already departed to the point that teachers are being bounced all over the place teaching classes for which they are not certified. Again, how much longer can this be permitted to continue? Alamogordo Police Department is excited to announce the partnership with the Alamogordo Fire Department and the Alamogordo Public Schools for the second annual Ferguson Summer Academy Internship. This amazing opportunity is open to juniors and seniors from Alamogordo High School. Interns are going to gain hands-on experience and insight into both law enforcement and firefighting. To apply, please visit the Alamogordo Police Department Facebook page. An event to train people on how to stop and spot signs of human trafficking is coming up in Mescalero. The New Mexico State Police and the Human Trafficking Training Center is going to offer free training sessions that will teach law enforcement, prosecutors, medical professionals, and other advocates how to identify signs of human trafficking. The 3-day training is going to focus on human trafficking interdiction, operations, and task force. The training is going to be held at the Inn of the Mountain Gods from April 1st through 3rd. Well, today is Tuesday. It's time for an introspection with our good friend, Pastor Johnny Walker.
Hey, this is Pastor Johnny Walker with this week's introspection. Just something to think about, a little sunshine to put in your pockets.
In a world that often feels divided, it is our responsibility to be good neighbors, to listen, to understand, and to bridge our differences with compassion. Making excuses or hiding from accountability will not erase our challenges. Silence born of fear only deepens the divides that separate us. Remember, fear does not come from a place of love, but rather from the unknown. It is important to stand up for what is right, because wrong is wrong, no matter how it's packaged. Let us not forget, our actions today shape the community of tomorrow. When you extend kindness, understanding, or a helping hand, you're planting seeds that will flourish when you find yourself in need. Together, we have the remarkable ability to create positive change. Let's seize this moment and work hand in hand, united by our shared humanity. Let's embrace our role as neighbors, and in doing so, build a better future for ourselves and for generations to come. Remember, together we can make a difference. So let's make it count.
This is Johnny Walker with this week's introspection. We hope to see you again next week. If you want to see us sooner, we're at 3001 Thunder Road, Sunday mornings, 10:30 for morning worship. You be blessed and be a blessing.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
From basic to advanced computer repairs visits GalacticGeeksPCRepair.com. Local business owned and operated by Greg Gutierrez. Available for on-site work from 9 to 6 daily. Installations, upgrades, even virus repair. For information, email Greg at GalacticGeeksPCRepair.com. Google IT support, professionally certified.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
All signs point towards President Trump closing the Department of Education on March 31st. Letters were sent out to people who can resign with a $25,000 check, and their last day would be on the 31st of March. This effectively restores the education back to the states, assuming Congress agrees. Department of Education Secretary Linda McMahon.
It is set up by the United States Congress, and we work with Congress. It clearly cannot be shut down without it.
Albuquerque Teachers Federation President Ellen Bernstein spoke with KOAT about how she sees the impacts it could have on New Mexico students if the Department of Education were to shut down.
In our state, thousands and thousands of students benefit from the Department of Education and what they are supposed to do. And that is flow money for Title I, which was created when President Johnson had his war on poverty.
LBJ? Really? She invoked LBJ? Wow. New Mexico Kids Can Executive Director Amanda Aragon talks about that 10% of the school's money comes from the Department of Education.
Those are incredibly important initiatives, and we will absolutely stand the line to say that we should continue to receive those funds for New Mexico students. But we have not yet heard what is going to happen with those funds. And we're really focused on that 90% of funding that's being decided right now in the New Mexico legislative session.
The Republican Party of New Mexico Chairwoman Amy Barella released a statement, quote, President Trump's plan to return education to state control will let New Mexico manage federal funds directly, ensuring students with disabilities and low-income communities receive the support they deserve. New Mexico's education, which is ranked last in the nation, demands solutions tailored to our state's needs and not dictated by Washington bureaucrats. Close quote. The fact that the Department of Education has little to do with education, and for anyone who thinks losing this department is going to cause harm, simply doesn't understand what it is that the Department of Education does. I would say look it up, and you may be shocked to find out it's not what you think. The economic blackout turned out to be about what you'd expect. Target was down 9% in traffic. Costco was up. Target did bounce back the day after, even higher. Walmart experienced a 5% slump in web traffic. Amazon dropped by 2%. Both reported gains in traffic on the day after. However, there are no reports of any economic disruption. When we hear things like this,
Get back! Get back! I have a gun! Get back! Get back! I will
it makes us want to hear things like this.
I have now moved in favor of more time behind bars for serious felony crimes. Because when you're out in 5 years or 7 years, I have all the data that shows that you immediately reoffend.
While ignoring that a lot of the crime we have is actually created by the state government. The previous shoplifting stance is one example, or the governor releasing violent criminals from custody. How about the so-called bail reform? Shall I go on? A year ago, Joseph Rivera broke into the Albuquerque home of Anissa Tinnan while she was babysitting her granddaughter. Tinnan grabbed her gun and shot Rivera before police arrived on scene, and then she provided first aid while they waited for the police. Rivera, who has a lengthy criminal history, was eventually arrested on car theft and burglary charges. Tinnan spoke yesterday with KOB.
There are laws that can be charged to individuals that go into your home, and that's burglary. But he did not burglarize us. He terrorized us. And we are the only state in the Southwest region, other than Colorado, that does not have a specific home invasion bill.
Now, she's trying to change that. Tinnan recruited a bipartisan group of state lawmakers to carry a bill making home invasions a second-degree felony in New Mexico. She said she has support from the District Attorneys Association and the governor's office, but yet the bill is still stuck at the starting line.
There's no reason this bill should not get passed other than Senator Cervantes, who is the committee chair for Judiciary, is picking and choosing what bills he wants to call.
The Judiciary Committee has already approved other crime bills, including the Republican-backed plans to expand the state's racketeering laws and create the crime of swatting, which are not new to lawmakers, but it appears this one will probably not even get heard on the floor. A bill to address the missing and murdered indigenous peoples crisis in New Mexico was unanimously passed by the state Senate. SB 41 would create a statewide turquoise alert that would be used to notify the public when an endangered tribal or Pueblo member goes missing. The alert will be similar to New Mexico's silver alert for the elderly and Brittany alert for those with developmental disabilities. The bill is headed to the House. Look, do we need race-specific bills, or can we all agree that a missing person is a missing person and we should take them all seriously? And if we're going to say that we're going to be treating them seriously and equally, then why do we need them separated by race? Two bills aimed at boosting the state's economy are headed to the state Senate. By a 54-3 vote yesterday, the House approved one bill to create a technology and innovation division within the state's economic development department. That division would provide funding for projects in cybersecurity, aerospace, AI, and other tech fields. Another bill creating trade port districts across the state has also passed the House by a 56-4 vote. The bill's sponsors say those trade ports would have access to airports, rail yards, or interstates, so goods could be transported more smoothly. Immigration and customs enforcement agencies are now permitted to make arrests at their colleges and universities, and higher education leaders are stepping up to offer guidance, which I'm not sure, but it sounds a lot like they're going to teach you how to circumvent and or dodge the law. Roz Brown has the story.
More than 26,000 New Mexico college students are first or second generation immigrants or international students. A Trump administration executive order lifted the ban on ICE agents around school campuses. As immigration policies continue to evolve, Diego Sanchez with the President's Alliance on Higher Education and Immigration says colleges and universities are stepping up, but the challenge is significant.
Know Your Rights materials are being distributed widely, ensuring that all members of the campus community, citizens and non-citizens alike, understand their legal protections and how to exercise them, reinforcing student privacy protections and limiting the disclosure of sensitive immigration-related information.
On his second day in office, President Donald Trump directed the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to rescind Biden protections that prohibited ICE raids in sensitive areas. In addition to school campuses, those include churches and hospitals, locations previously off limits to immigration enforcement actions. Tanya Broder with the National Immigration Law Center says the changes in immigration policy have created fear among undocumented students, but she reminds students or faculty who are confronted on campus that under the U.S. Constitution, they have the right to remain silent.
If ever somebody is confronted with an immigration officer or a law enforcement officer, they have a right to refuse to speak to them, not to answer any questions. Don't say anything about where you were born or how you entered the U.S., and you can say, I need to speak to my attorney.
New Mexico's Department of Justice has updated a guidance document on its website with detailed information about promoting a safe and secure campus. I'm Roz Brown reporting.
Sports and weather are coming up next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 21 games for New Mexico softball today, including Chaparral at Hatch, and 15 games for New Mexico baseball today, including Capitan at Socorro. Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies, winds gusting up to 32 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight, winds gusting as high as 22. Sunny tomorrow, winds gusting up to 17. Your high today in the basin, 64. Low tonight of 37. High tomorrow, 68 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly cloudy and windy tonight. Winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight, winds gusting up to 32. Sunny tomorrow, winds gusting up to 26. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 41. Wind chill is going to make it feel like it's 2. Low tonight of 26. Wind chill is going to make it feel like it's 18. High tomorrow of 50 degrees. Local breaking news is going to be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. Also check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. And that concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.